Good morning. Today our group Sergio Reyes, Valentino Soracá, Miguel Galindo, Johan Rojas, and me, Camila Campo, is going to explain the external factors, internal capabilities, and strategic initiative of Huawei. But first, I'm going to tell you a little context about Huawei. Huawei was founded in 1987 in China. It is a telecommunication technology company, and today it is one of the biggest tech companies in the world. Huawei now has more than 119,000 employees and operates in over 170 countries.
We'll explore key external factors affecting Huawei and how they connect to the analysis of the firm, how a company responds to its environment. First, market trends, like the rise of 5G and AI, have pushed Huawei to invest heavily in R&D, strengthening in innovation capabilities. Second, economic conditions, such as inflation and its lower growth, have affected profits. In response, Huawei is diversifying into digital energy, cloud, and enterprise solutions to stay competitive. Third, international regulation, especially U.S. sanctions, have limited access to key tech. Huawei respond by developing its own systems and chips, showing adaptability and a move towards self-reliance. Lastly, competition from Apple and Samsung drives Huawei to focus on quality partnerships, emerging markets key to its strategic positioning. In short, these factors reveal Huawei's challenge, but also how it adapts and evolves core to the analysis of the firm.
When we talk about Huawei's internal capabilities, the first thing we notice is how much they invest in research and development. The company spends a big part of its yearly income on this, which helps them create new and advanced technologies in areas like 5G networks, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing. This helps Huawei make its own products and stay ahead in the niche market. Huawei also has a global structure with research centers in Asia, Europe, and Latin America. This helps the company understand different markets and offer the right solution for each one. Huawei also has a strong technology system that let them will key components by themselves. This gives them more independence and control. These are some of the main internal strengths that support how Huawei works from the inside.
Another important part of Huawei's internal decisions is the focus on people. More than half of their employees work and research development. This shows how much they care about technology and new ideas. Inside the company, the culture also helps employees share ideas and work together on projects that can grow. In the last few years, Huawei have also shown in the car risks facts to big problems. For example, when the USA made restriction Huawei's created in their own system called Huawei's OC very quickly. This shows they have strong teams and process inside the companies. Huawei also builds its own hardware and softwares. This means they don't have to depend on the companies for key parts. They make things like personas and cloud platform being themselves, which gives them more control over their technology. They also work with university research centers, making partners that bring more country to the company on the part of the Huawei is strong with its internal capabilities.
Huawei had to move very strategically after the sanctions from the United States in 2019. Because of that, they lost access to Google and other important suppliers. This affected their smartphone division a lot. but instead of doing nothing, they created their own operating system. Germany OWASP and started making their own processors, like the creating chips, so they don't depend on companies like Qualcomm or Intel anymore. This is an example of a sequential game from game theory. First, the United States made a move, the sanction, and then Huawei responded with a smart strategy. They didn't just react, they thought about their next steps carefully. They also look for new markets where the sanctions don't affect them so much, like Africa, the Middle East, and Latin America. A good example is the 5G project in the Ethiopia or their strong presence in Brazil. In these places, they work together with local governments and companies, which is an example of a cooperative game. From our point of view, some strategies Huawei could use to get even stronger are making alliances with small AI companies in Asia and Africa, improving Germany OWASP, which already has more than 900 million active devices, and producing more inside the company to reduce political risks.
Huawei didn't only react, they also start leading in areas where they could still innovate. One clear example is 5G. They were one of the first companies to develop 5G technology on a big scale, even before many USA or European companies, because they signed contracts in more than 40 countries, giving them a big advantage. In the game theory, this is a simultaneous game with leadership. Huawei made the first move, and then competitor has to follow. For example, Samsung. If they didn't act fast, they were left behind. Another example is how Huawei changed their focus because they lost a lot of phone market. They start offering service to business, smart city solutions, and green energy products. For example, they now work on smart solar panels and internet solutions for rural areas and export those technologies to different countries. This shows how Huawei doesn't only think about surviving, but also about how to win. Every move they make considers what other companies might to do, and that's exactly the idea of game theory, to take decisions knowing they are also playing. And in our opinion, Huawei could also create a special product line for developing countries, cheaper but still good quality. They could also build research centers with universities, like they already did with over 20 R&D centers outside China. Finally, they can grow in the business software area, especially with tools focused on security and privacy, which are more important today.
Thank you very much for watching and pay attention.